Welcome to the channel, Hayward here. This is going to be a hands-on video today. I've got a new piece of kit that I want to share with you. It's the Z160. This is a flash. It looks really different and I have a feeling it might be really different. Let's unbox it and have a look. Z160 retro camera flash. I've opened the box, but that's as far as I've gone so far. Let's have a look at this. Outside packaging, nice. It's got a really hipster vibe to me. I think it's kind of cool. As I said when I took this project on, I think this is for point and shoot cameras more than what we're going to be doing it, but we're going to be putting it through its paces here. Okay, so we have a sync cord, old time PC sync cord. You don't see a lot of those anymore. And the stand, I'm used to these. My Canons come with stands like this. Okay, and we've got a USB. I'm assuming that's for charging, but let's have a look at this, see what we've got. So here's the flash itself. This is really cool. I think this is a really cool little design. Yes, I'm assuming that's for charging the USB-C and the old style sync. This is not TTL. I'm assuming this is a diffuser. Yeah, that's a diffuser on there. You cannot tilt it on the top of a camera. It is fixed going forward. So you have to take that into account when you deal with what you're going to use this for. Okay, so as you can tell, this flash, it looks different and it is different. It's automatic, but it's not TTL. And the form factor is very different. So I'm going to give you a spoiler alert right now. I do recommend this flash, but it's not for the reason I thought I would when I first accepted Neewer's offer to test it. Let me run it through its paces and we'll pick up on that afterwards. Okay, I'm just doing a really simple setup here because with this kind of flash, it is strictly going to be lighting right ahead of it, okay? So this is the best setup I can come up with for just demonstrating this. So we're going to first start in auto mode, right? And this dial in auto mode changes exposure compensation. If you're familiar with other kinds of flashes, the idea is you're telling the flash, I want X stops over or X stops under from what you think correct exposure is. And in this case, what this thinks correct exposure is, because this is not a TTL system. Per the camera documentation, we're at f100, f4. Shutter speed doesn't really much matter with flash. I can lower it to get more ambient. I'm totally experimenting because this is not a TTL flash, so I just want to see what's happening. I'm going by the documentation for this test. Okay, so in auto mode, yeah, that's pretty much what you would expect from the flash. We're seeing exposure all the way across. Of course, we've got dark blacks and we've got some highlights here because it's white. But it's actually auto flash exposed, basically. And given that it's straight on, that's what you're going to get from a flash like that. And you have to keep it less than 4 meters from the flash. That's the range of the flash according to the documentation. I'm going to pot it back more than I would expect to change this, just to see the difference. So I'm going to go back, stop in a third. Let's try that. Yeah, we definitely lost the exposure on that. Let's bring it back up to 0.7. Okay, it's still way under. Let's just let it do what it wants to do again at 0. And there we are. I mean, it's an automatic, I assume, I guess there's a sensor in here that it's reading the light over there to set its flash. This is old school. We used to have, this is what they used to call automatic flashes decades ago. There's nothing really wrong with it. And if you know what you're doing with flash, you can make it work. I don't think that's the strength of this though. I want to get into manual mode. Okay, now let me tell you what we're doing here. So what I have done is I have changed the ISO. I'm going to be in fully manual mode. This is how I would approach it if I were using flash myself. I would use this as a helper, not as a controller. So I've set this to ISO 1000. I'm sticking at f4 because it doesn't matter for this. And the shutter speed is at 1/100. So I'm going to pop one off here. And so what you're going to see here is it's about underexposed. It is, I think in the readings, I'm seeing it's a 1.5 stops underexposed. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, and this is how I recommend you do this. This can actually teach you how to learn flash if you feel like playing with it. I'm in manual mode. Okay, I'm going to start. This is a very small flash, so I'm not going to go too low. It's not going to have a lot of juice. Let me see what 1/8 power does. So back to our basic flash understanding. So I'm about a 1.5 stops underexposed with the camera. I want the flash to bring up the rest. But we're at ISO 1000, so the flash doesn't have to work that hard. I'm just spitballing here. I have no idea what this exposure is going to do. Let's try it. Okay, that's over at 1/8. So suddenly now I am using this flash for all it's worth, even this little bitty flash. I'm going to cut down 2 stops to a 30-second. And let's see what we get here. 30-second. Okay, I'm at a 30-second. Let's try that. That's not bad, okay? That's actually really comparable to what the flash did at ISO 100, but at 1/32 of the power. If I use the human brain instead of the brain in here, suddenly this little tiny flash can add up to quite a lot. It is straight on flash. We can't bounce it. I don't know a way to do it. I guess we could pull it off of here and use the PC cord to just trigger it. Now I want to tell you one really cool feature of this little flash. You see this little port here? That is an optical sensor. And when you're set to the right mode here, this little flash can be a slave flash to another firing flash. Now, you have to be in manual mode, but really that's how I would use a slave anyway. So imagine I just wanted a little touch of edge light on something like this. I could set this, fire with my main flash for lighting, and this would be a wonderful little edge or supplement or hair light. In terms of that, man, that's a great little addition to your kit. Okay, I mentioned this in the unboxing, but this flash does have a sync port, and it comes with this little cable. This is an old style sync cable. That's the sync plug. This goes to the flash. Now, it is old style. My camera doesn't have a port, so I can't really test it with that. I see no reason why it wouldn't work. It's just a simple trigger. And why am I bringing this up? Because if you are using manual and you take it off the camera and fire it remotely, you can change the angle of the light and get a little bit better look. I have just one of my speed lights in my hand here. I'm going to fire this in manual mode. The flash is in slave mode over here, and it's firing back towards the lens. I'm going to fire it a couple of times, and believe me, it's blinding me. I don't know if you're seeing it, but I really could see using this as a tiny little accent highlight flash. And boy, for that, it is extremely affordable. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this flash? First, I like the way it's made. I think it's made well. It's got some interesting ideas, and I love innovation in photographic equipment because honestly, there's not a lot. It's everything's about megapixels and power and this and that. But this is different and quirky, and I'm kind of different and quirky, so I like it. But for an on-camera flash, where I struggle is that you can't tilt the head. Now, at this price point, it doesn't surprise me, nor would a tilting head help a whole lot since it's not TTL. You really have to know your flash and be comfortable with working with it in manual to take advantage of a tilting head to do bounce flash. But I still recommend this flash. And the reason is this little port right here. That is the optical sensor on the flash that allows it to be used as a slave. All it has to see is another flash fire and it will fire. Now that won't work outside. It'll only work inside because it's optical. The sun would overpower it. But this tiny little flash and how well it works as a strobe is perfect for a little background light or a hair light or an edge light. It really would be perfect for that. And I'm putting it in my kit for that anytime I'm working indoors. Now, if you are interested in seeing how I would do that, hit me up in the comments or on Camera Cafe, and I could make a video to show you how that would work. As always, thanks for watching. Until the next video, cheers.